welcome to Cheapskate. I'm Cameron and I need a cameraman. Hence I'm in this position. Anyway, you may have a dust extraction issue. In other words, you've got a normal vacuum cleaner. I've got this one on wheels here. Not a bad little vac. Of course, it's not commercial grade dust extraction, but it doesn't really fit, right? And I could not find reducers online of the right size. Hardly any of them will fit the 32 mils you need for this particular vacuum fitting or whatever vacuum hose you have, a normal vacuum cleaner. Really hard to get a reducer to fit. And then this one's 100 millimeters from here width. The other one I've got is on my belt sander, which is 53 millimeters. Can you get any, like some of them have multi-stages, but then they have one but they don't have the other size, and it's just a pain in the butt. So, if you've got scrap wood, this is basically a free way of doing it. You can, if you know about woodwork, you can already see what I've done, but I do a video of me making it. And basically, that's it. Done. If you want to know how to do it, just watch the rest of the video. This is the dust extraction port on my bandsaw. It's quite a big bandsaw. But this is a pretty typical size for an industrial piece of equipment. And if we measure the outside diameter, we've got 99.4. So 100 millimeters is quite typical for these sort of industrial scale ones. And the outside diameter on my belt sander was 63 millimeters. So I've got three sizes. 100 millimeters I've got to fit it onto, that's for my bandsaw. 63 millimeters for my belt sander, and 32 millimeters for my actual vacuum. I'm using plywood, so that's wood with many pieces all glued together, and they're usually glued in a cross pattern going two different directions. That's much stronger, so plywood is probably the best thing to use. You can just use some pine. I was going to use pine, but I had this piece of plywood sitting here with no use. It's an offcut, so I thought I would use it. Now, on my bandsaw, at the bottom of the connector is only a gap of about 20 millimeters, so I've got that's going to be my thinnest side. So I'm going to measure 15 millimeters, which I've set my calipers up for 15. Just put a mark at about the 15 mil mark there. I'm just going to use this to draw that line in, around about there. That'll be probably, that's probably going to be my thinnest edge. Oh, that is 63 mil to there, yep, so halfway 63 mil is gonna be 31.5, which is about there. So that's about our centre mark. I'll just get it towards the actual centre somewhere here. Just drilling holes following the inside of the circle. In case you don't have a jigsaw, you could use a chisel to just chisel it out, or a saw to saw it out. We probably will use a jigsaw, but it's easier if you do this on the smaller circle because it's hard to do tight corners with a jigsaw. So now I'm just going to drill a hole in the centre of each one so I can get the jigsaw in there, because I will use a jigsaw, I think. Okay, so the holes are very rough, of course, but we're just going to check the sizes. So I'm using my calipers. I've got 100 there actually. I thought I was a bit under. It's 100 right on. That's 99.4. So I went pretty close there in a few spots. So if I get the rough edges off, we might actually be right on that one. This one's got to be 63 on 58, 61 there, 61.6. So this one I might have to do a bit more sort of rasping. So this is a rasp, which takes off big bits, and I've got my file for just getting it smooth and at the end. Alright, we'll just cut these bits off. I'm using a bandsaw because I've got one. You could just use a handsaw, that's fine. Alright, time to test fit. This is the out there for the bandsaw. This is the 100mm one. So I think I left about the right amount on the bottom there. We're about to find out. Looks like it might be a bit tight. It's going on. Well, that looks okay actually. I've got gaps. I've got a gap here. The rest of it's pretty good. It's really just a gap just in here. So I'll put some tape and stuff, or will I just fill it with something? I'll probably just put some tape in there. It would clog up over time anyway. Cheap drill bit. I don't know, I might have drilled it on an angle, but it's a cheap, poor quality drill bit from China, and we'll just leave it in there. That's it. Fine. This one. Okay. Should do it side as well, just in case. Alright, put some glue on. I had to come inside because it started raining. Anyway, which way is airflow? Airflow is flowing that way, so this is the end as the joint. Okay, so I've got to put glue on this face. Okay, so to drill the hole that the vacuum is going through in here, I'm going to use a Forstner bit. This is a Forstner bit. They're specially designed just to drill holes, and they do a really good job, a really neat job. If you're doing like furniture and stuff or precision stuff, the Forstner bits are the way to go. But if you don't care about, you know, precision, which we don't really here, you could use a spade. This is called a spade. This one is 32 mil, so that's the correct size as well. Yep. So most vacuum fittings, well, not standard vacuum cleaners, are around about 32 mil. So you could use that. That's not water, by the way. That's oil that you can see here because they were rusting a bit coated with oil. The other ones you can use is these things here. I think you can see them. These are like little hole saws. This one here is also 32 mil. So I'm not going to get it out because it's a bugger to get back in again. But that's a hole saw there that you can use that too. So any one of these methods will work.
I know I said I was going to use a Forstner bit, but I used a spade because I thought most of you at home might not have Forstner bits, so I'm regretting it though because it turned out to be quite a blunt spade.
Alright, so there's our hole. We've test fitted this already, so we know it fits on. So that's where it fits. We know we had a bit of a gap just here, so we can plug that up with some tape if we want. But then that should just now go on like that, and then we should be able to plug our vacuum in there. So if I plug there, there you go. That fits quite well. It's not loose. That's it's a little bit. There might be a slight air gap there, but it's not very much. And if you want to plug it up, the easiest thing to do is just wrap a bit of electrical tape around there. I'll actually show you that. So I just had a look at on this vacuum cleaner. When I put it into the shaft, so I can use the floor attachment for vacuuming the floor, it comes up to about there. So I'll just put the tape a little bit further back from there so it won't interfere with me using that. I'll just peel some tape off. Pardon, excuse me if my hands are cut and bleeding and all that sort of thing. It's just that I just haven't had much luck today. Alright, so I'll put it about here. And I'm going to go sort of almost twice around. If that's too much, I can just peel some off and cut it. And there we go, we've got a tight fit. How good's that? And the only other thing I might do is just fill in this bit here with a bit of tape. And I'm just going to do that by doing this. Once I've got this on, this is just going to stay on. I'm not going to take it off again. So something like this where I'm just putting a lot of tape on, which looks like it won't last very long. It doesn't matter because it's just going to stay there. I'm not taking this off and on. If I was taking off and on all the time, this would not be a permanent fix. I'd probably just glue a little piece of timber in there or something like that. Roll up a piece like this. Get another bit. So I've got that on there. Put that in the middle there. Because the middle of it was bigger than the rest, or more of a problem than the rest. And then the next bit I'll do is just a bit to cover a bit more than that. And I'll do that like that, so we graduate it out a little bit. And that should fix that bit, the leak we had. Get that on. That looks good. And then there you go. And we've got our extraction system. Woohoo! This is the one we did for the Ryobi belt sander here. So we just, the holes at the bottom. So just put it like that. And there it is. Actually that feels a little bit loose to me, so I might just put some electrical tape and this. So I'm going to start off with twice around, and if that ends up being too much, then we'll come back and change it to once around. It's easy. It's right, so how does that fit now? Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, it's quite snug. That won't fall off. back goes in. That's it. We just leave it on there. Don't have to take it off. Thank you for watching my cheapskate video as I trip over my bandsaw on how to make the reducer dust extractor fit to your vacuum, blah blah, connect the thingy. Incredibly beautiful, yes. Anyway, it's very cheap, like it's free if you've got scrap materials, and it gets the job done. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So if you got something out of it, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more like this. It does take me a lot of extra time to make the video rather than just making the stuff. So if you could give it a thumbs up, that would help the channel out a bit. Have a good day.